we'll see. Maybe Dricus wants a nice, or Khamzat wants a nice quick turnaround, and I can be ready for it. And still, yeah, hopefully be a very boring fight, or one of the two wins and he gets hurt and can't fight for a little while. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think that's the only thing I can do right now. Hang back, make sure that I'm there in Chicago, and we'll see what the next fight will be.
He is officially a top 5 UFC middleweight, 4 fights into his career, coming off a big win over Robert Whittaker. It is always my great pleasure to catch up with Reinier de Ridder. Reinier, congratulations on another win, man. Got to be feeling good, even though you got a little banged up, but you got to win over a former champion, so that kind of heals all wounds, right?
Yeah, thanks, Damon. Yeah, it was an honest day of work this Saturday. Got hit a couple times too much for my liking, but yeah, I'm very happy with the result. Was nice to have to dig deep. Looking back, was cool to be pushed as far as I have been. Was an honor to share the cage with a legend like him, and yeah, that's where we're at.
To this point in your UFC career, I mean, you had to battle with Gerald Meerschaert a little bit, but it was still pretty dominant performance, and you got the finish. Kevin Holland was kind of one-way traffic, and if we're being honest, the Bo Nickel fight was kind of one-way traffic. Is it, I don't say good, but like to go through a battle like that, to have that kind of experience, like there is something valuable to take away from that, right?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot to learn from this fight when I'm going to study it, when I look back. And it's good to know that I have that in me. It's always good to know. That it's still there, that I have the cardio to go 5 rounds, fighting as hard as we had. Yeah, it's good. Choking him out in the first round would have been better, but this is still fun.
Have you had a chance to rewatch the fight since it happened?
Yeah, I could have, but I wasn't ready yet. I need a couple days, I think.
Yeah. So the night of the fight, I scored it for you 48-47. I thought it was pretty clear. And to be fair, there were a couple close rounds in there, but if you look at my Twitter, I said exactly that on Saturday night. Did you feel pretty confident when it was over, like that you had won, or was there any part that's like you knew it was close, or like how was your confidence level as you're waiting there for the decision to get read?
No, I was pretty confident that I won the fight. I think just one judge forgot his glasses in his car or whatever, but yeah, I thought I won the fight.
Yeah. At some point, and I understand, like we understand the third round, Whittaker got the knockdown. Credit to him, he's an incredible striker, and he got you there. But will people start giving you credit for your striking? Because I think the biggest difference in the fight, in my opinion, wasn't necessarily your grappling. You were very good at that. But it was the knees to the body. I think you killed his energy. I think we saw, like, we've never really seen Whittaker get that winded. It looked like you kind of took the gas out of him. And that to me was the body shots. I don't know. You tell me, like, are people ever going to respect your striking?
Yeah, I don't know. It will never look as pretty as it does with Adesanya, for instance. But hopefully I'll get some respect for it eventually. And I'm very proud that I was able to do this, mostly striking. In the beginning of the third, I thought I was going to put him away, but then I got a bit too overzealous. So I still have some experience to gain in finishing with the striking. But yeah, I'm proud that what I've showed for my striking again. Yeah, definitely.
It kind of reminded me a little bit of what we just saw a couple weeks ago with Dustin Poirier and Max Holloway. Max had hurt Dustin badly at the beginning of the round, and Dustin out of nowhere hurts him at the end. Right before the knockdown, you were hurting Whittaker. You were pushing him back. I was like, oh my gosh, this could be a finish. Is that just the danger of like that moment, right? Because I know you had him hurt. You had to know you had him hurt.
Yeah, that was just my inexperience, I think, in finishing guys standing. So I'll have to learn from this a little bit. I just didn't make the right decision right there. I should have moved a bit, read the situation a bit better before I stepped in again, as I did in the Bo fight. Because kind of the same situation happened with Bo. I heard him. We were at a distance. I was coming in. But in the Bo fight, I moved my head a bit more when he was throwing. And in this time, I just thought, I got this guy. I'm going to fly in with the knee again. And he saw it coming, and he threw the right overhand, and I walked right into it. So... that lucked me down.
But your recovery, I mean, in that moment, like to survive that, like there's a lot that goes into that. I don't know. Do you even remember that moment?
Yeah, I remember pretty well. Yeah, I remember that I walked into the punch, and I was staying safe there and not getting hit too much after, luckily. And then before long, I was up again and even got up on top with the takedown. So I was able to survive, but it was a rough little patch in the fight, definitely.
Well, I know I mentioned to you in our pre-fight chat, I said when you look at what you've done on the ground, like I think you could make the argument that you have become maybe one of the most dominant grapplers, if not the most dominant grappler in the sport. When you combine everything, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and everything, were you surprised that Whittaker did as well as he did on the ground? Because you took him down and you dominated, but like, and I guess there is an aspect of playing it safe, right? Like never allowing you to like actually give you an arm or give you an opening to take his back. But were you impressed by Whittaker's ability to just not let you ply your trade on the ground, because you did take him down and you got him mounted at one point? Like there you had moments, but obviously his defense was good enough.
Yes, his defense was very good. I was surprised, but well, he's been in the game for so long. He's been training his jiu-jitsu for over 15 years. So I could have expected him to be as good as he was, and maybe I could have taken a bit more risk on the floor as well, trying to pass, being a bit more aggressive. Um, but yeah, he did very well on the floor, and hats off to him there.
I know we spoke, I think literally the day after or 2 days after you had the win over Bo Nickel, and it was such an incredible moment. But so it felt like so much of the celebration of that win were people talking about Bo, saying, "Oh, he's fraud checked and he's not the real deal." It kind of takes away the attention from what was an incredible performance. You dominating Bo Nickel on the ground and on the feet, getting the knockout. Do you feel like this fight you are getting the credit you deserve? Because when you beat a guy like Robert Whittaker, like when you look at the guys who have beaten Robert Whittaker, it's either champions or the guy who is literally fighting for the belt in about 2 weeks. So like you just don't beat Robert Whittaker. This is a huge win. So do you feel like you are getting more of the credit now versus like the Bo Nickel fight where it seemed like everyone wanted to talk about him losing more than you winning?
Yeah, definitely. I'm top five right now, as far as I know. So I'm coming up there. Give me a couple weeks to recover, and let's see if I can climb even higher.
You know you officially made it when there are parody Twitter accounts, because I don't know if you saw,
Yeah.
I know you saw on Instagram, but like Paulo Costa is currently tweeting with your imposter account that's not actually you, and I found it rather funny. Like he's still commenting on him, like, and everyone keeps telling him like this isn't RDR's Twitter, but he doesn't seem to care.
No, he really, really wants that fight. I think he really loves. He really wants to try and set something up. But keep trying, Paulo. You'll get there.
Yeah. Can I imagine like at this stage, and I'll ask you about it more here in a second, but like can I imagine at this stage you got to recover first and foremost. I mean, you just went through a hard 5 round fight with a legend in Robert Whittaker. But can I imagine your world as far as fighting goes kind of hits the pause button until after September, because you got Dricus and Khamzat in a couple weeks, and of course we know the fight between Kaio and Imavov is coming up, and we talked about that beforehand. We know that's basically going to come down to now you or one of those two guys. So does your fight career kind of just hit the pause button until after then? So you know, are you getting a title shot or is it not going to be the title? Is that kind of like where your world sits right now?
Yeah. So every time since I joined the UFC, I kind of had a fight lined up 3 days after the last fight, but I don't think it's gonna be like that this time. It'll take a couple weeks. I want to see at least the Dricus and the Khamzat fight first, and then we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, we'll see. I think that's smart to hold back for a little bit. Yeah.
I think you've earned a break too, by the way. I mean, I know you want to be active, but I mean, have you, like, do you wrap your head around what you did in this 4 fight streak? And like, I mean, it's crazy to think how fast this went, especially after all the time off you had to deal with in one. And now here you are 4 fights in, and you're basically you're ready for a title shot. Is it kind of crazy how quickly this has all moved?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. It's been 4 fights in 8 months. And yeah, I would definitely like to spend some time at the beach, eat some nice barbecue, have a good time with the kids and the wife. That's what I'm looking for right now. But um, I can never stay inactive for too long, so I might be in the gym sooner rather than later anyway. But
Yeah.
yeah, it'd be nice to chill a bit as well.
Are you planning on going to Chicago for the title fight? Because I mean, it would kind of make sense for you to be there.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking of it. Yeah.
So I know we talked beforehand, like this is the nature of the beast. It's going to come down to you or the fight in September. And I know you kind of joked. You said, "I hope it's a boring fight," but I'm a big believer in buzz, and you know how this works in the sport right here. Like we've seen it recently with Ilya Tapori and Paddy Pimblett. Does Paddy Pimblett now? You're in a different situation. You just beat a former champion, but Paddy has heat with Ilya. They don't like each other. I don't think anyone would be shocked if that fight got made just because the magnitude, the size of it all, the popularity. This is absolutely nothing against Kaio or Imavov, and I think Imavov obviously knocked out Adesanya. It's a huge win, but
Yeah.
is there a part of you that feels like you've gotten a lot of buzz? Like there's a push behind you. You are a newer guy in the UFC, undefeated. There's a lot of following behind you. Do you play into the idea that like you obviously know it's going to be you or those guys, one of those guys getting a title shot, but even if that fight plays out and let's say Imavov wins, like do you believe there's still a world where you absolutely do get that title shot?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Yeah, and even it's always logistics and everything lining up right as well. So we'll see. Maybe Dricus wants a nice, or Khamzat wants a nice quick turnaround, and I can be ready for it. And still, yeah, hopefully be a very boring fight, or one of the two wins and he gets hurt and can't fight for a little while. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I think that's the only thing I can do right now. Hang back, make sure that I'm there in Chicago, and we'll see what the next fight will be.
And I think Paulo probably has a little work to do before he gets you, right? Like Paulo's got a little work to do.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. He would be a very fun build up. Would be fun in the press conference and everything with Paulo because he's a character, of course. But yeah, right now I don't think he's there.
Yeah. Now I know you talked before we spoke. I'm not gonna actually break it down again, but I know you told me before, like your opinion on Dricus and Khamzat is you're kind of leaning Dricus, but obviously Khamzat's very dangerous. Let me ask you this version of the question though. When it comes to, I know whoever is the champion, you'll gladly fight. But do you have a preference in terms of like not necessarily who you think will win, more of like who you would rather fight? Because I think that the fight with Khamzat is incredibly fun because you're both grapplers. I think I think it'd just be fun to see you guys exchange a couple things on the ground, but at the same time, you've been kind of wrapped around a Dricus fight going back years where it seemed like maybe you guys were going to fight outside the UFC. Now you're both in the UFC, and he's actually been a pretty dominant champion, if we're being honest. Like going out there beating Strickland, finishing Adesanya the way he did. So I know you don't care, but like you're like, man, this would be the bigger fight. Is there one that you lean towards in terms of like which one would you prefer?
Well, Khamzat is, of course. I think if Khamzat wins this one, especially if he wins decisively, it'll be like a huge name, all right? And that might come with him taking a lot of time off after. So it might be better if Dricus wins, and then we can fight in 4 to 6 months. That would be best, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you don't care, right? Like, it doesn't really matter. But we have, unfortunately, there's been the knock on Khamzat is the inactivity, right? The injuries, the sickness, things you had to take off. And like I said, I think that's. I mean, we talked about beforehand. You're like, maybe I'll just stay ready for Chicago because the reality is, Khamzat has had to drop out of a lot of fights. So I'm sure, like, the reality is, like, Khamzat could win, but then be out for a year. And I know you don't want to wait that long.
Nah, exactly. So hopefully, it would be nice if Dricus wins and we can line it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I know you said that you kind of root for a boring fight, and we know there's a possibility that. Can I ask in the Imavov Kaio fight, like, do you lean one way or the other in terms of who you see winning? Because I think Imavov's got a lot of buzz right now, and rightfully so. You knock out Israel Adesanya, you've earned that. But Kaio's been undefeated, dominant grappler, comes from a good camp. Obviously, Fighting Nerds have been doing really well. So, do you see that fight like lean one way or the other in terms of who you think's going to win?
Yeah, so Imavov had some losses in the beginning of his career, right? And I think over the last couple of fights, he got so complete, man. He's so well rounded, does everything very good. I see Imavov winning that fight, but I could be wrong. I haven't really studied Barrio as much yet, so I'll do some more. I'll do some more studying, but in my mind, Imavov would win that fight. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think a lot. It always it goes down to performances. Like your fight with Whittaker was great. It was a fun fight. Like it was a really good fight. Now I know you don't go in there thinking like, let me have a fight of the night. But when it ends up like that's the kind of fight people remember. And your fight with Whittaker is one that I think people are going to remember. And like I said, maybe Imavov wins, but it's not super exciting. So I know we're talking about like waiting and just kind of seeing how things play out. And you've earned a vacation, but in your heart of hearts, you know, when you look at the lay of the land, like, do you believe a title shot is next? Like, is that in your heart of heart? You believe like that is going to be your next fight?
Yeah, actually, yeah. We'll see how it all comes together, but that would be the dream. Yeah.
I know you shared the card on Saturday with your guy, Marcus Buchecha. Unfortunately, he didn't get the win. I know he sent out a nice message congratulating you on the win and everything. And we talked about you guys both moving on from one. I saw a comment on Saturday and talking about like the success you've had moving on. And I know he's got a fight booked, but I know you've seen, because I've written about it. Anatoly Malikin has said great things about you, which by the way, I don't know if you saw it or not. When this fight got booked, he said like, I picked him to beat Bo Nickel, and I think he's going to beat Robert Whittaker the same way. So he seems like he's a big fan of yours. I saw Saturday night someone's like, we would love to see him in the UFC. He's a heavyweight. Let's be honest, I think heavyweight could probably use a guy like that right now. Is there a party? Would you like to see Malikin come over to the UFC?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, the question is that possible?
Yeah, I know he's got a fight booked right now, but I think that the division kind of needs him right now. Like when you look at the lay of the land, like with John Jones gone, I think, you know, Aspinall's incredible, but like who's he going to fight?
Yeah, exactly. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, and we'll see. It would be cool. Would be cool to see him over. Before the end of my career, I would like one more. So we'll see how it all comes together.
I mean, come on now. What a great story, right? If he comes over, and I know you have a lot of respect for him, because every time I've ever talked to him, he says nothing but great things about you. Like he has a ton of respect for you, but come on now. Like I know you're never going back to one, but come over to the UFC. Maybe we do the trilogy in the UFC.
Exactly.
Never know. Well, like I said, man, congratulations again on the victory. It was an incredible performance, man. I just love to see you go out there and find success and everything you've been working towards. And now, you know, you're on the precipice. Now you're on the threshold of getting exactly what you came here for, which is that title shot. So please enjoy some downtime. I know you said you're going to stay ready for Chicago. Don't stay ready for Chicago, man. Take a vacation. Come on now.
I can't promise anything, Damon, but I'll try.